We heard that you are setting up a new party, the Grab Party. Can you introduce the Grab Party to the people, and what are your main policies of the party?
Okay, well, actually, it's been set up for almost 2 years now, since I resigned from the current parliament. Grab Party is designed to be a platform for those professionals who want to contribute to society through the political arena and want to affect changes that they deem to be necessary to establish a future for Thais and for Thailand as a whole, amidst the very rapid changes that we're seeing taking place all around us, whether it's changes as a result of technology, changes as a result of demographic issues in Thailand, or even geopolitical changes that are affecting Thailand broadly. So GLA sees the issue of economic well-being, livelihoods as critical issues. We think that there are a lot of distractions, a lot of noise in Thai politics that seeks to divide societies into opposing camps, and we think that this division has been detrimental towards development and the creation of opportunities for Thais.
Before coming here, I have read your Grab Party Facebook, and in the Facebook it says that you are the party leader and is ready to be the Prime Minister of Thailand, the next Prime Minister of Thailand.
Indeed.
Yeah. Why has it to be you?
What?
Why has it to be you?
It doesn't have to be me. It's up to the people. But I am ready. I think, as I just mentioned, that the leader of the country needs to fully understand the changes that are taking place, the adjustments that are required for Thailand to take advantage of the changes that are taking place. The leader needs to not only have that understanding, but have the ability and experience to know how to affect these changes, put it into practical effect. And given my experience both in the private sector prior to entering politics, given my experience in the political arena, not least my experience in government as the Minister of Finance, and in addition to all of that, my understanding of the changes that are taking place and the role of technology in providing solutions to a lot of our problems. I think I'm ready for the role. Whether I get to do what I feel is necessary is really going to be up to the people.
How much reaction have you got from the people? You said that the Grab Party has been established in the country for 2 years. For 2 years now.
Correct.
When you're going out to meet your voters in Bangkok or in the province, what did they say to you?
Well, I've been particularly recently traveling around the country a lot. We are actually currently competing in three by-elections, one in Chumphon, one in Songkhla, and an upcoming one in Bangkok. And one common theme that we meet and we hear from people across all different walks of life is their desire for improvement, their desire for change, their desire for fresh and honest leadership. And I think this bodes well for GLA Party and what we have to offer, because we are offering a different perspective on politics, we're offering change. We think that actually is absolutely necessary for us to have change, starting with political leadership all the way down to practical policies. So I think this matches the desire and the overall sentiment of the people, whether it's in provinces or in Bangkok. And this bodes well for us.
You just said that you few candidates in 3 constituencies, in 3 provinces, in Bangkok, Songkhla, and Chumphon. And how much confidence do you have in them, I mean in your candidates? And what do you think that they can win voters' heart and mind?
Right. I'm very confident of their qualities. We take we choose our candidates very carefully so that they match what we as a party want to do and what we want to offer to society as a whole. They, 2 of them, in Chumphon and in Songkhla, are newbies to the political scene, meaning that they've never run for political office before, but they both experienced, one as a career policeman, the other as a young attorney, and most importantly, they have public spirit, and they understand that politics is all about sacrifice. So we're very confident in their qualities. We think that these are exactly the kind of qualities and the kind of people that we ought to have in Parliament. And in fact, in my opinion, lately there's been too many MPs who don't have these public service-minded qualities, and I think that this has been a negative for our politics. Now, whether we win or not is a different issue. One thing that we are facing, particularly in the provinces, not yet in Bangkok, is the increasing use of money in elections. I think this is well documented, both at the local levels and also at the national level. I think it is very sad that very little is done about this, and in fact, not very much is even talked about in the media, although everybody knows that this to be true. And so it is harder for political parties such as ours that have chosen not to participate in vote buying to win. And I'm not saying this as an excuse. I'm saying that this is a reality. So we temper our confidence in the quality of our candidates and in the people's desire for change with the reality that this could be abused by use of under the table money. And so we wait to see what the result will bring, and we'll know soon enough. In Songkhla and in Chumphon, that means the 16th of January, and in Bangkok it's the 30th of January.
Apart from the upcoming by-elections that are going to happen, you think Thailand now should have the general election this year or next year? And if yes, why? And if not, why?
Well, obviously it depends on the Prime Minister. And I've always said that the government has to have a reason for continuing. Meaning, if the Prime Minister wants to continue in his role to the end of his term, then I think what the people would like to hear is what he intends to do with the remaining time, which is about a year. If there's no clarity on what it is that he intends to use his time to do for the country, then I think the answer is let's have an election, because he's clearly run out of ideas. But if he has very clear agenda in terms of what he wants to affect in the remaining period, then I think the people would be quite willing for him to continue. So it really depends on the agenda. And if he does have an agenda, he needs to spell it out more clearly. Because at the moment, I don't think people appreciate what it is that he wants to hang on to do. I'm sure he has some ideas. I think he needs to spell that out so that people can understand why it is that they should relax and be comfortable in waiting for another 6 months or a year for the next general election.
Can you tell me so far how many members in the party do you have at the moment, and what kind of political group are your main supporters?
We
Who are your
have tens of
supporters?
thousands of members across the country. There are legal requirements in terms of the minimum number of members a political party must have in order to field a candidate in each constituency, and we're going to match that. One big change that has taken place since the foundation of the party is the amendment to the constitution related to the election process. It is a significant change, and I think it's a negative change. Nevertheless, the change has been confirmed by Parliament, so we need to adjust our strategy. The change, in effect, was a change from a system whereby every vote counts to a first past the post system, which has its positives and negatives, but it means that life is harder for new parties. That's a given. And so we need to be more focused on constituencies that we believe we have a reasonable chance of winning, and not spread our resources too thin across the different constituencies, across different provinces, across the country. Which I think is a little bit sad, because we had set out wanting to be, right from the outset, the party for every province, the party for everyone. Now, everybody can still vote for our party through the second ballot, but we will not be able to field a candidate in every constituency, given the new rules. So we will be focusing on areas in which we feel we have a higher chance of winning. At the initial stage, frankly speaking, that's likely going to mean the more urban centers. And the reason why that is because urbanites are less prone to be attracted to vote-buying offers than the rural poor, and that's the reality. And it means that a party like Klan Party, which does not intend to offer payments for votes, has a better chance of being able to compete in urban centers as compared to rural areas.
I'm about to ask you whether you'll be able to fill all candidates in the next general election, and you told me already that you cannot fill all candidates in the next general election. What would you say to your supporters and other voters to vote for your party, which is very new to Thailand?
If you want change, if you want political leaders who understand what changes are required, if you want your MPs to be free to act according to what is needed, then GLA is a party for you. If you want professionals who have a deep understanding of important and relevant issues, then GLA Party is for you. If you want a party that is determined to play a role in cleaning up Thai politics, in the reduction of corruption in politics, then GLA Party is for you. And I think there are sufficient number of people out there who want to see these changes. The only question is our ability to convince them that we are committed to these principles and that we can be effective in putting our commitment into practice.
Your party is very new to Thailand, and you know that what's going on in Thailand because there is the political polarization or political divide in Thailand. How can your party will help mend such situation?
That's a very good question, and I think it's a very important question. I've been in politics. The party might be new, but I've been in politics for 17 years. I've seen the political divide increasing in distance and in gaps during that period. And I can see that there are beneficiaries, mostly political leaders, but the people have not benefited, and the country has not benefited from this political division. So we need to overcome it. We as a new party are in constant attack by both the radical left and the radical right. And that indicates to us that we are taking the correct path. And our path has always been not to take sides with either right or left, but to take sides always with the truth. Now, that requires real courage, because it means that you open yourself up for attack by both sides without having the safety or the protection of people who consider you to be on their side. But consider this, by taking sides and by demanding people to take sides, what in effect are you really asking for? You're asking them to support that side regardless of right and wrong. That's what taking sides actually means. It means sides come first before right or wrong. If your side makes a decision that is just wrong or you disagree with, but because they're on your side, you can't show your disagreement. Now, is that what we want in politics? We, the Kla Party, and particularly in the ongoing competition in the by-election, we are asked if we have 1, 2, or 3 MPs in the House, which side would we be on? We ask that question, and our answer is, we'll be the side of the people, we'll be the side of the truth. Any issue that is raised in Parliament that we agree with, we will strongly support it. Any issue that we disagree with, we will strongly oppose it. Isn't that what you want, or you should want in your politician? Why ask us to take sides even if it means that we support things that we don't believe in, things that we think are wrong and negative for the country? And so we think that if we get a foothold and we're able to show this kind of politics, we will be able to increase the number of people who agree with this kind of politics. And that will lead to an overall change, and a change in the right direction in our opinion.
Last but not least, why do you think people have to vote for your party?
I don't like the word "have to vote."
Should vote.
Should vote.
Okay.
We'd like them to vote for the party in order to make a strong start in the move away from polarized politics of the kind that has held the country back, the kind of politics that seeks to divide people on issues that ultimately do not have an impact on their livelihoods and on their quality of life. We want to refocus politics onto issues that matter, issues of jobs, issues of income, issues of opportunities. And I think very few, if any, political party is focusing on these issues. We're going to be fighting very hard to do so, and if you agree with us that these are the issues of the day that politicians should be debating and should be working on, then vote for GLAP.